They said they lost. Be more robotic.
Old black cook dude. I think it was the March to Victory. Old black cook, the funny one that used to be in there talking.
Yeah. He was at the end. Right?
You know what happened to him?
Take it after it.
He was on that Tommy stuff.
I heard about that. I heard about that.
Some defense. All right. Questions? Back, Kristen. She'll meet you halfway.
This is for Charles Nelson. What? Okay, what do you think you did? What do you think allowed the offense to roll in the first half? And then what do you think stalled you guys in the second?
In the first half, we were going with a lot of tempo, kind of put the defense in a bind. We were going fast. Second half, we kind of slacked on that. We weren't going as fast as we should be. Caused the defense to get into different personnel, and they were able to stop what we were doing.
Right here, Tyson. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. Rob's taking the mic already.
Arion, you've had times the last couple of years where somebody was coming back and came all the way back. Why do you think you guys were able to step up and make plays down the stretch and keep that from happening this time?
We just believed, and we've been working that a lot. And Coach Levitt gives some really good speeches before we take the field, and we just had to band together and play hard.
Tyson, center row, left.
Going to that 3rd and 12 play where you end up getting that sack there, can you kind of just take us through that? And obviously that was a pretty pivotal point in this game.
Right. I seen the tackle move down, block down, so I was free. Tight end came around, and I had a one-on-one with a tight end, and Coach Woody always preached that we have to win one-on-ones with tight ends, and just drove him back. And I seen the quarterback's arm come up, and that's when I just mirrored his arm, and then I hit his arm, and Ugo picked it off.
Ryan, right here.
Arion, do you kind of like the fact that it came down to the defense in the second half to hold them off? And also, can you speak to, the interceptions you guys have been able to get in bunches this year?
Yeah, cause I guess it was fun that it had to be on the defensive shoulders this game, and towards the end that it came down to us, because I guess the fans would be more appreciative. If we do make plays, they get more excited. And the picks, we've been working a lot of ball drills and stuff. We studied their route concept. So the guys were just in position to make plays, and they made the play. So shout out to Ugo, Thomas, and Tyree.
Bill, back, Steve.
Charles, you see some of the Johnny and Brendan now over on offense, and Mitchell in his first kind. You see some of those guys kind of making strides throughout the week and in games?
Yeah, I told you guys right from before fall camp started that these guys were going to be special when they step on the field. They all do great things when they get the ball, and we're just all out there making plays.
Arion, you mentioned Thomas already, but just talk about his performance today and what he's shown you in practice these last couple weeks.
Thomas is really, he's a special player. He has great hands, great ball instincts. And we're just, I'm just helping him out. Ugo's helping out. We're just making sure he's ready to play. He does have more interceptions in my career than in 2 games. So he's a good player, man. You got to big up to him. He had a great game.
Back left, Sky.
Arion, you mentioned that you hope a performance like this can maybe take a little fan pressure off the defensive unit. Has that been a motivation or a motivating factor for you guys as you've kind of turned into the punching bag of Oregon fans the last couple of years?
Sure. We know Coach Levin and Coach Tiger always talks about us, the defense going out there, earning respect each and every game. We're just trying to do that, prove that we can stop the run and just be better this year on defense overall.
All right, Aaron.
This is for both defensive players. The offense put you guys in a lot of bad.
Aaron, I need you to do it one at a time and tell me, because that's how we set the camera. So you just have to tell me who the question's for.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry, I don't do.
All right. Arion, the offense put you guys in a bind in the second half. A lot of times, turnovers, not obviously getting drives rolling, etc. Did you guys relish the opportunity to go out there and try and win the game, knowing that the offense was not going to give you more points in the second half?
Coach Levy just talks about us putting the team on our back, and the defense has to win this game for us this year. And just take the ball away, because it'll be easier if we take the ball from them. They're not going to give it to us. So we went out there and just fought for each other. Everybody just kept each other's spirits up. We just had to play for each other.
Jonah, did you want to answer the question?
No, you pretty much said everything. Yeah.
Tyson Alger, front left.
Coach said at some point during the game, the UCLA game from last week kind of flashed in his head of just that sort of momentum in that game. Is that something that you guys can even acknowledge in a game like that, of just being like, hey, this is going bad here, but let's fix this? Or is that something that even popped up for you guys?
Well, Coach talked about it at halftime that whole game, but we just kept. I mean, the UCLA game, they kind of like self-destructed a little bit on defense, but we didn't do that. We just made plays, and sometimes they're going to make plays. We just got to learn how to bounce back from those plays, and I felt we did a pretty good job defensively.
Right?
Charles, with that second half, comeback that Nebraska was putting together, could you feel the fans, the Nebraska fans, kind of getting behind them, and did that affect you guys at all on the field?
You could definitely see the Nebraska side. They brought a lot of fans. I don't think it was anything it wasn't a surprise for us. We've practiced in louder conditions than that. We played in louder conditions than that. We just didn't make enough plays, and glad that our defense did.
Thanks, guys. Good win. Push. Anybody still need books? I know. They got rules. Front left, Tyson.
Ugo, over the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of close games you guys have had where maybe you didn't come up with the interception or the play that kind of clinches the game. Today, you guys had 4 picks, including yours there at the end of the game. What kind of clicked for you guys in order to be able to do that?
Well, we just knew the defense had to make plays, and offenses were struggling, but as defense, we have to have a single mind to where we have short-term memory. We made a bad play this time, but next play we're gonna come back and execute, and that's what the goal was, to execute and finish.
Front left, back.
Brendan, what was it like scoring your first touchdown? And was it simply just go deep and try to make a play on the ball?
Yeah, it was pretty much just go deep, and if I have good position, Justin's going to throw it up for a jump ball, and came down with it.
On the right hand, and that.
After the touchdown, what was the tackle like from Justin? How is his tackling skills?
His tackling skills are pretty good. I think he learned from me, but yeah, they were good. He kind of blindsided me. I didn't even know who it was till I looked up and saw it was him.
In the back, Kristen.
This is for Ugo. What do you think it says about this defense that you guys were able to make a stop when you needed to make a stop after maybe some issues in past seasons?
Well, I guess this is just a confidence builder, and it says that we can make plays when we need to, but we just got to keep it going. We can't have any drag. We just got to continue to execute and want the ball back and actually have the will and the fight to do that.
Middle, Steve.
Brendan, how kind of the last 5 weeks have you kind of come along at wide receiver, and you feel now like you are a wide receiver out there and pretty confident in the routes and getting in positions?
Yeah, definitely. I do feel a lot more confident in what I'm doing. Getting out there at first, it was just taking baby steps to get better, and then now I feel like I'm making strides to be a good receiver for this team.
On the right here.
Dylan, the first 6 quarters of the season, you guys scored 119 points. Today in the second half, 0. What happened on offense in the second half?
I feel that offense we just got stuck a little bit, and we just had to push through it next time and work through it, and that's basically what we did. But the defense stepped up and was able to keep the offense of Nebraska contained.
Right there.
On that note, Dylan, did Nebraska change anything up defensively, scheme-wise, that you saw?
I felt they start putting more guys in the box when they realized that we had a 3-headed monster in the backfield, so that's the only thing.
Front left, Matt.
Dylan, there's a lot of new receivers out there this year for you guys. Can you explain the chemistry you guys are developing with Justin? It seems like it's clicking pretty well early on in the year.
We're clicking well with Justin because all of us are new and new targets for Justin. So guys like Brendan, myself, and Johnny, we're all new to Justin, so we're all putting in the same effort and making sure we encourage each other to make more plays.
Ryan, just under the belt.
Dylan, was there a moment in the spring or even fall camp when you realized that Thomas Graham could, maybe be a special player and help out right away?
Yeah, I knew early on that Thomas was a good corner, and it's a natural position that some guys just have ability to play, and he has that.
Thanks, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
First time, all three of you guys. First time. I like it. Good job. Looks. Everybody's happy. Right. I think that's it. I think we have one more set of guys. I think it's suggested. Oh, you're breaking all my rules. Just you two? Nobody else? Troy's coming. He's coming. Oh, Troy. I should have known.
What size your polo?
You're good. I just was giving it a phone. You first.
You all the way over, okay? You got an extra large? Maybe. These you look swole. They better stop
giving you all these.
You look swole. You been lifting, ain't you? You good.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I can't breathe.
You can't breathe. You gotta get the button on there.
I'm pitch check.
Over here on the right, Jay.
Good look, good look.
Jay, you weren't here last week?
No.
You have to address
Oh,
which guy you're.
okay, I got you. Justin, how would you assess the offense first half to second half? Did Nebraska make any adjustments defensively? What happened from the first to the second?
Yeah, I think in the first half we did a really good job of moving the ball. We did exactly what we needed to, and we got the ball to the guys that make plays. And I think just in the second half we're a little complacent, didn't move the ball as fast, and fortunately the defense stepped up and did a great job.
On the right, hey, Justin.
As someone that's been going to Ducks games for years, when you're warming up and you see the Reds start piling up more and more in the stands, have you ever seen a fan base come out here like this to Autzen Stadium?
I've never seen anything like that. It's really cool for Nebraska, but fortunately we get more Ducks next time.
Scott, you're moving around on me over here on the right.
I'm just all over the place. Troy, you were all over the place as well today. But it sounded like at halftime, the coach gave a UCLA Texas A&M reference at halftime. I don't know, is that accurate? / did that creep into your head as this Nebraska started to come back in the second half?
No, we were never worried about anything. Coach Tiger did mention it in the locker room, but I mean, defense wasn't really paying much attention to that. I mean, we know we got to go out there and finish. We got to play all 4 quarters at the end of the day. Coach Levitt always preaches that. So I mean, we went out there in the second half that got us with those first 2 drives. But I mean, once we settled down and got into the groove of things that we know how to do, it all played out for itself, and we came down with a big turnover at the end with Ugo. So we're really happy about that. But we got to put this game behind us and move forward to Wyoming.
Sky, I said enough, you knocked him down. Steve, in the middle.
Justin Johnny Johnson's had a couple diving catches the last couple weeks, and just kind of talk about kind of developing with him, and then with Schooler, coming now about 5-6 weeks, the receiver, and Dylan, how kind of those guys and you were kind of coming together for each week, and what you've seen from Johnny.
Yeah, it's huge for those guys to step up like they have. It just helps our offense overall. Having those guys around there, it adds another dimension, and they've done a really good job, and I'm really proud of them.
Right, left, Matt.
Troy, you guys had 3 freshmen start on this defense today. How quickly did you realize a guy like Nick Pickett or Thomas or I think Austin started today could really play big roles for this defense?
I knew Nick Pickett was going to play a big role when he first stepped on campus back in fall camp. I mean, back when summer ball started. Austin the same way. I mean, you could tell by the way they came in with the right demeanor and the right attitude and want to get on the field and play for us. Thomas Graham's been doing what you saw today on the field since spring ball. So, I mean, shout out to him. He's done everything since he enrolled early back in the winter. So, I mean, all those guys were ready to play. Coach Levitt trusted him. We all trusted him, and we just rolled with it.
Back right, Kristen.
Troy, Taggart said he was really excited about the way you guys were able to deal with adversity. That was kind of his biggest takeaway. How do you feel like this team was able to respond with the pressure on and finally getting that last stop?
I feel like we did a great job. I mean, when Coach Tiger always talks about it during practice, always sudden changes or something like that, dealing with adversity. We have to go through it every game. Coach Levitt told us before the game that it was going to come down to us stopping in the last couple minutes, and we knew we were going to deal with adversity. So we were ready for it all week. We were preparing for it. So, I mean, we came out and we just showed everybody what we had.
Front left, Tyson.
Royce, over the last 2 years in crucial situations, you guys have been at points where you guys have been on the sideline as the offense and you've watched the other team go down and score in crucial situations. What was it like today just watching your guys' defense come up multiple times, 4 interceptions, that big play by Uu at the end? What's the vibe on the sideline from you guys?
It's big. I mean, it gives the offense the juice. Very proud of the defense. They made some very tough stands. And just to see them grow, especially defensively as a unit, just makes me excited for the future and trusting them in big situations.
In the middle, Austin.
Royce, you guys made it look pretty easy on offense the first 6 quarters of the season. Was that second half any kind of reality check that it's not always going to be easy?
I think it's just football. I mean, the team goes into halftime. They're going to make adjustments as well. We're just going to try to do what we do better. We also have to make adjustments. We just got to play better in the second half, I feel.
Tyson, then Kristen next.
Justin, on that catch that Johnny had, the diving one, do you come back to him and say you put it in the perfect place and he just had to dive for it, or does he come back and tell you that he bailed you out on that one?
He bailed me out on that. If it had been in the perfect place, he'd still be running in the end zone. But fortunately, he came up with it and made a great play.
Back right, Kristen.
Justin. That tackle on Brendan Schooler after his first touchdown, he said that he taught you how to tackle, but really, I mean, taking down your own receiver?
Yeah, I told him, first touchdown, he better be ready because I'm coming down there and I'm going to crack him.
Over on the right, yeah.
Hey, Troy, what's that like for you guys, in that front seven when you've got some, ball hawkers behind you, 4 picks today. I mean, that secondary is, on the ball. And how does that help you guys up front?
It helps us out a lot. It knows that we can get pressure and we can trust the guys behind us because that's what it turns down to is trust. So, I mean, we know we've trusted them all camp. We've seen what they can do. So, the front seven just went out there and we did our thing. We got pressure on the quarterback to make him force those unforced errors. So, I mean, we're just proud of the guys behind us because, I mean, when we step up front, we got to have the trust in the guys behind us, and we absolutely do.
Justin, 25 pass attempts in the first half, only 8 in the second half. Did you feel like the offense got a little conservative in the second half?
I think it's just football. We made some adjustments at halftime and unfortunately didn't move the ball as well as we did in the first half. But they have coaches too, and they prepared for us and they made adjustments too.
Front left, Tyson.
Justin, Coach Taggart just told us later on that it was a mistake, but did you like having a coach that was kind of willing to get a personal foul for you on what he thought was a perceived kind of bad play there?
Yeah, it's great to have him in my corner. He'll defend every player on this team, and it just shows us how much he cares about us, and he's a really respectable guy.
Matt, front left.
Royce, it looked like it was physical up front. Did it feel physical? Was it difficult to run the football this week for you guys compared to last week? How did that compare?
Yeah, it was a little different. I mean, they're bigger up front. Emphasized on stopping the run game. I mean, we did very well in the backfield last week, so it made it a little tougher this week to run. But I feel like the O-line did a great job of just opening up creases here and there and getting a push when we needed to. I mean, just big ups to them for the game I had today.